a program of Sawa Network. My name is Roger Alfred Mundi. I'm the producer and the host of the show. Today we are joined by Paulino Lukudu Obede, the leader of United South Sudan Party, which is a member of the other political parties known as OPP, that is part of the Revitalized Peace Agreement. Also, we are joined by Chol Duang, the spokesman to the chairman of South Sudan United Front, Malong Awan, and we are joined also by Margret, Lokurnyang, Lado. She's from the Federal Democratic Party, which is under Gabriel Chanson Chang, and they're also part of the peace agreement which is being implemented in Juba, the Revitalized Peace Agreement. So today we shall be looking at the role of South Sudan youth, South Sudanese youth in politics. What are they contributing? Are they making impact? And what challenges are they facing? And how those challenges could be addressed? So welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. And let's start with Paulino Lukudu Obede, the leader of United South Sudan Party. How are things happening in Juba with the peace agreement in place, and what are you contributing as the youth in politics?
Yes, thank you for hosting me, Rogal. I'm experiencing a network fault here, but let me hope you are hearing me. You're getting me well.
Yes, I'm getting you. Yes.
Yeah. Once again, on the current political development in the country, people are in the phase of formation of the government. Since signing of the peace agreement in 2018, we are now 2 years in the process of implementing the agreement. And so far, there is already formed government at the national level, but not fully formed government, because it is the executive that was formed, remaining the legislature, and remaining the state government, the local level government. So all the processes are actually channeled into implementation of the agreement, in which it is in the process of formation of the government, which is in Chapter 2 of the agreement, and as well as in the process of unification of the forces, which is Chapter 1. And generally, things are moving very slow.
Are you, as the youth, doing anything to contribute to peace or the implementation of the Revitalized Agreement? You got my question, right?
I'm getting it. Hello?
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, as you fix your internet.
Hello?
Yes, hello? As you fix your internet, Paulino, let us hear from Margret, who is also a youth leader. Margret, how is the political environment with the peace agreement in place? As the youth, are you able to contribute at the moment? Has the situation changed?
Thank you for the question. Are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay. The environment is okay, quite okay, although the implementation is moving on so slowly. As we know, we are behind time, and we hope that the executive will find time sooner to resolve the issues that are pending, and that is our hope. As the youth, I think we have contributed greatly to the implementation of the peace agreement. Starting from the NPTC time, we have contributed a lot. We have done. We have made sure that as youth behind the agreement, we have done the agreement, and youth are getting actively involved on the activities, ways to make sure that the peace agreement move forward. So as youth, we have been really, really active to make sure that the implementation goes successfully.
Okay. Like any specific ways you guys are doing to make that happen?
Yeah, There have been several workshops that youth have been getting involved with. There are so many seminars and dissemination also activities, and youth has been really going forward with the issue of the peace agreement by making sure that they educate themselves. They educate themselves on ways to support the agreement. So activity-wise, there are so many workshops that has been going on, and we also lobby within our leaders to make sure that the implementation is moving forward.
Let's get to Paulino before we could hear from Chol. Paulino, are you seeing that the youth are making impact in the political process in the country?
I am getting inbound.
Yeah, as the youth in politics, are you really making any impact?
Yes, there is impact, but not to the expectation. Not to the expectation generally. The expectation is different from the impact that we are getting, but at least it is better than before. The environment is better than before. Even the process of how the parties are handling it, it is somehow better than before. And there is a little progress, but not according to the expectation.
Okay. Okay. Then Chol Duang, we know you recently have been appointed as the spokesman for Malong Awan, leader of South Sudan United Front, which is not part of the revitalized agreement. We know also that there are internal issues within that movement and the alliance, which is somehow with your party was part of it or is still part of it. But we are not going to get into those. We are going to hear from you as somebody who's a youth, who's a young person in politics. Your views as an individual. So, what do you say about the political environment in the country? Because you came from there, I think, recently, not too long ago. And how do you see it?
Thank you, Yoron. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you. And thank you also to Margret
and to Paulino for being on this wonderful show together. Just to talk about my views on the political process in the country and the role of the young people to that effect. One thing I must acknowledge is that as a youth, we are actually at the stage where we are trying to realize our role and our responsibility in regards to the political process. And as you know, you and I have been colleagues in the media until I decided to branch. One thing I can say is that it's not that unfortunate that youth are not making any impact now, but at least youth are realizing the need, to participate in politics. And just to take you back to why I picked interest in politics at last, goes back to 2017 when I ran for a regional youth elections. I wanted to be a chairperson, but then I was rigged out, and somebody, who was behind me was instead put in my position as the chairperson. That one actually angered me, and I was like, okay, if people, have this audacity to steal,
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So my interest to participate in
politics, goes back to 2017. And until then, I've grown that passion to create a space, for myself and for other young people. I realized that politics should, be shifted to young people because we know what we want, and the country is about young people today. As you all know, 75% of our population falls under the age of youth. And there is a need for us, to take the lead, and for us to do that, we have to, get involved in politics, and that's why I decided to, to branch into politics and do what I can, on behalf of other young people, who do not have that space as I speak. So that's like a day.
To you, Margret and Lukudu, maybe you tell us very quick and brief some of the challenges that you, as the youth, are facing. Youth in politics are facing in putting out your ideas or making impacts, to push the peace process forward and also help build a democratic country. Paulino, you go first, or Margret, any of you, just some of the challenges that you've so far faced since the peace came into force.
Yes, I would like to start with appreciating some of the points from our brother Chol Duang, who raised issues of why he joined politics. And if I could, I will add in top of it. In South Sudan, we have a leadership, leadership gap. Are you getting me?
Yeah, I'm getting you. Yeah, I'm getting you. I'm getting you well. Paulino, go on.
Yes, in South Sudan, we have a leadership gap, whereby the leaders are at the top, and the young people are not positioned in the position of a leadership. They have been positioned in the position of the followers, and which is a very big problem, which is a very big challenge to the political dispensation in the country. I can categorize the politics of South Sudan into two types of politics now. We have a digital politics and an analog politics. The analog politics will actually be related with the top leadership of the different political parties. Most of them are all men and all women. And when you look at the digital politics, it's supposed to be young people also to be positioned in the position of the leadership of the political parties. I can give you an example. In South Sudan, we have 14 registered political parties. The 14 registered political parties.
The agreement calls for fresh registration of political parties. The peace agreement calls for that, and after
Yeah, not for the current registration. The political parties which are registered will not re-register again. They will only just go through some procedures, but they will not re-register again. So most of the leaders of the political parties.
Come on. The agreement is clear about registration. In fact, it also provides for reforms of the Political Parties Act to conform to international standards, and that has not happened even. That has not happened up to now. And talking about registration of political parties is something that has to be taken into consideration with the broader issues raised in the agreement. Yes?
Exactly for the international standard. But I mean to say that young people should take interest in joining.
There are some issues with regards to the Political Party Act that are seen to be undemocratic, and that is why the peace agreement talks about reforms, legal and institutional reforms, so including reforming some of the laws so that parties register and they all operate within the law. But go on about your other points.
Yes, the political parties have already. The Political Parties Act has already been amended. I can affirm to you, the political parties has already been amended, and it is in the process of tabling. It's going to be tabled before the revitalized Transitional National Legislative Assembly, and by that time, the process of conformity of the political parties into the international standard will start, as well as registration of the new political parties. But I'm talking to you from the legal side of it, is that there is now 14 registered political parties in South Sudan, and the other political parties are going to be registered. But the process, what I mean to say is that the political parties which are going to register to ensure that young people are positioned in the position of a leadership of the parties, not position of the followers, in which I'm appreciating the two people who are already in a high position of the leadership of the political parties, which are with me currently in the studio discussing the same matter. And it is extremely important that the young people, as the majority of the population, we understand the problem facing us more than anybody. We understand how we want South Sudan to look like more than anybody. And we are the manpower towards achieving the South Sudan of our dreams more than anybody.
Ask you about your challenges you're facing. You just be brief so that the other colleagues also come in.
There are too many challenges. Of course, there is too many challenges. There is no political process without challenges. There is too many challenges. Whether it is some people even reach to the stage of saying, "You are young. What are you doing in politics?" We hear this from many people that you are young. What are you doing in politics? Among many other challenges that I cannot mention, all of them are here. But we are really facing an extreme challenge, challenges. But that cannot stop us from the way further. That cannot stop us from the path of the new political environment in South Sudan.
Do you think that there are people who could help you maybe overcome some of those challenges? Like maybe at different levels, challenges can be overcome even by the youth themselves. So do you think there are ways that those challenges could be helped out, or could be resolved?
It's only the people.
Huh?
It is only the people.
Do you think that there are people who could help you maybe overcome some of those challenges? Like maybe at different levels, challenges can be overcome even by the youth themselves. So do you think there are ways that those challenges could be helped out, or could be resolved?
It's only the people.
Huh?
It is only the people of South Sudan who can help us.
Then how can they help when they don't know? When you don't tell them the challenges? When you don't tell them the challenges, how are they going to help you?
People of South Sudan could be people of a different categories. But I only need the people of South Sudan who will help us in this. They can be journalists, they can be teachers, they can be whatever professions that they have. But support from the people. Support from the people of South Sudan will lead us to the right path.
Thank you. I think you are not interested in mentioning the challenges you guys are facing, and you are letting even the youth down. Anyway, Margret, maybe you tell us also, a problem said to be half solved. Maybe you also mention some of the challenges you guys are facing and how they could be helped out, how they could be resolved.
Thank you. I think when we talk about challenges, I think we are really facing a lot of challenges that when I talk about it, I might not be able to mention all of it, and I will speak as a youth, but not only as a youth, but as a young woman, because maybe the challenges that I'm facing as a youth, and especially as a young woman, might be different from another male counterpart. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to talk on behalf as a woman who is young and who is in leadership. There are so many challenges that we are facing, because one is the inexperience. When you say something, or when you are in a position to give your opinion, when the time for decision making comes, people will not take you seriously. They will say you are young, you are inexperienced, you don't know even what you are saying. For us, they will tell you that for us, we have been in leadership for long. We have been in this thing since those times in the bush. So for you were just born yesterday. They will not take your decision or your opinion as serious as other people. And particularly also within being a woman, there are two categories. There is the older woman and there is the younger woman. The younger woman is us. No. The way they will treat me as a younger woman is not the same way that they will treat a woman who is older than me. The woman who is older than me will be given a little bit more consideration. Let me put it like that. When it to be compared, although all of us were women, for them they will get more consideration than me because of their age. So that is one, the issue of the age and the issue of experience. That is one. And we will face also a lot of discrimination. Sometimes there are challenges that as a woman I cannot speak about it, but there are challenges that we go through at work that are really quite difficult to handle. So what's important is you just learn how to just respect yourself, to know how to respect them. And also, as youth, people consider us not in our country right now where we are. We are not in we are not in decision-making table. What our leaders want us to do is that although we are in politics, people expect you to be a manager, to a bigger person. They expect you to be a secretary, to be a manager, but they will never put you in a position whereby you make decisions for them and you make decisions for the country. So for me, I think it is high time that as youth, we refuse to take whatever is handed to us, whether we are qualified or not. And if we can sit down and see qualification and we see who is fit, I don't think we are just fit to be their supporters, to be their to be their followers. We are not fit to be followers, to follow anybody. We are not fit only to follow people and support people, but we are fit to also be part of them. Let's share the same table with them. Let's share the same table with them. So those are the challenges that we're facing.
Thank you, Margaret, for that contribution. We are almost winding up, less than 10 minutes. Chol, Duang, in brief, tell us, how do you think the youth of South Sudan in politics could effectively participate in making things move forward in the country in the right direction?
I think observing from the from the other two colleagues, you will agree with me that some of the challenges that they have not mentioned, maybe due to the fact that they are inside the country, can be lack of political space, or political freedoms. And we also have no resources for mobilization. As young people, we do not have financial resources or financial independence to also reach out, to the wider youth, population in the country. But the only other way that we can do something, as youth leaders for our country is to have a uniting, front as a youth, whether you are in politics, whether you are in business, whether you are in the media, we have to accept and acknowledge that our interest is mutual or common, and therefore we have to support each other. And one thing that I must admit to you, Yoron, is that for you to venture into politics, they always say that it's a risk, that you're taking. It's a risk, and I have accepted to take that risk, on behalf of other young people out there who do not have the opportunity or the space, that we can create for ourselves. Yes, and I am very much inspired now by Margret.
I was looking at how do you think the youth could participate better, more effectively? Yes.
Yeah, the only way we can
participate, because I only understand that it's Paulino who is a party leader, but two of us are only assistants, to our party leader. And so therefore, we can support somebody like Paulino, and we can also share, ideas. It doesn't matter which party you belong, but we can always share ideas, be there for each other, support each other. That's all I can say.
Paulino,
to add on something. What I mean is that I'm not saying that we are assistants or followers, but I'm saying that our leaders are putting us in that position. That is why you're seeing nowadays more youth are standing up, telling them, no, this is not what we want. This is not what I want. This is not what we stand for.
About that, there's a percentage. There's a percentage given to the youth. Is it being honored? Yeah, in the peace agreement.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. Particularly, let me speak on my party, because it happens that I'm under leadership of Honorable Gabriel Chamson. So for my party, we are going to uphold that. The percentage that will be women and will be men and yeah.
I was not able to get you. Just quickly, what did you say?
Okay, I was saying I will not be talking on behalf of all the parties of the agreement, but I will be talking on behalf of my party, because I don't know what is in the other parties. For us as FDP, I will make sure that the implementation of 35% for women and the representation of youth is ensured. Yeah, because as we all
Paulino, Paulino, are you guys able to make sure that the youth percentage is honored, especially your OPP, that is your coalition, right? Yeah, your party, and then.
The agreement has not specified percentage for youth as specified percentage for women. This is very clear. It's based on the parties to the agreement, because the agreement has acknowledged the participation of youth in the position of the governors. So it is based on the parties to ensure that youth participation matters a lot. And the parties to the agreement will consider that regardless of which group the party is, whether it's the government or it is from the incumbent Tigono or the SAWA, OPP or every party, but making sure that the youth participation will not be 10%.
The agreement in Article 1.45 says that having in mind that the youth are 70% of the population in the Republic of South Sudan is under the age of 30, and that the youth are the most affected by the war and represent their high percentage of refugee and IDPs, the parties shall strive to include people of younger age in their quarters and blah blah and so on. So it's about striving, urging the parties to strive to include the youth.
I understand, yes, but the inclusion of the young. I understand, yes, but the inclusion of the young people to the position of the governorship, it only requires one condition. The condition is that these young people should be members of the political parties. We can acknowledge that we really need to be part and parcel of the participation in the decision making. But matters a lot, young people should join politics. And if you look at the number of the young people who are in political parties, currently it is extremely commendable. And young people are joining political parties. As per now, as I'm talking to you, I'm a leader of the political party.
But as the youth, for example, are you guys able to? Are you guys able, like, if you have grievances, normal political grievances, because you are politicians, you are youth in politics, are you able to hold peaceful demonstration in Juba to maybe ask the government to implement this part of agreement or that part of agreement or this quarter? Are you able to do any peaceful protest?
Are implementing anything outside the agreement. It is a mutual understanding between the parties to the agreement, but it is actually implementation of the agreement only. The agreement has not specified 20%, though the youth are 72% of the population. The agreement has not said 20%.
The role of the youth cannot be limited to their share in government. I'm talking about your impact also as people trying to build peace through the implementation of the agreement. So there are several parts of the agreement. The agreement is about reforming the country, having good institutions, having good laws, and all this. So you as the youth, are you able to make impact, to do anything apart from that? Anyway, you guys have 30 seconds. You complete your points. 30 seconds each. We are winding up.
I think maybe not to.
Just 30 seconds.
I think our conversation
centered around the peace implementation, but it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just contributing to the peace process. But okay, after peace process, what next? And as young people, we need to tell our leaders that we are going to take up from them. Going to take up from them and take our country ahead. One thing I must just say is that wherever we are, we have to have a voice. We have to raise our voice, beyond just a party line. We have to speak,
With that, our dear listener, I'm sorry we had a technical issue that some of the youth are not able to conclude their points. However, this is a discussion that we will always continue, even with other youth who have not been able to be part of the show today. We reach out to some from the other parties, and we can't bring everybody at once, but we will continue the conversation with other youth who are in politics and see how they could participate in making progress in the country. And with that, we have come to the end of the program. I was hosting Paulino Lukudu Obede, the leader of United South Sudan Party, which is a member of the other political parties that is a part of the revitalized peace agreement, and Chol Duang, spokesman to the chairman of South Sudan United Front, Paul Malong Awan. And I say this without prejudice to the other faction, the other group, there's a split, there's a division, but I say this without prejudice to their rights. And lastly, we had also Margret, Lokurnyang, Lado, Federal Democratic Party member, and they're also part of South Sudan Opposition Alliance, SOA, and they're part of the Revitalized Peace Agreement. So we were looking at the role of South Sudan youth in politics, what are their contribution, and what impact are they making, the challenges they face, and how they could be helped to resolve some of the challenges. With that, see you next week.